Hello to all my beautiful people out there. Today, I would like to showcase a review of the Oculus Quest 2 VR system that my wife also graciously purchased for me pretty much a few days after it was released. And pretty much going to be telling you guys my experience with it, the specs, and also like how it's been holding up for using it pretty much roughly about a month, how I primarily utilize it, and etc. And if you're interested in that, stick around and let's begin. So as you can see here, again, this is the Oculus Quest 2. And as I mentioned, my wife purchased this for me just out of nowhere, to be honest. I was streaming actually on Twitch, and when she came down the stairs and surprised me with this, and I was in total shock. Like, honestly, like, I've never had a VR. This is actually my first VR system in general. I've never owned Oculus Quest, Oculus Rift, or the HTC Vive. But again, so far my experience with the Oculus Quest 2 has been pretty darn awesome. Just to get started on some information about this, the Oculus Quest 2 does go for $299 at the base model, which is 64 gigabytes of storage, 6 gigabytes of total RAM, a Snapdragon XR2 processor, and there is a note there that says that developers have access to 3 gold cores. I'm not too familiar on what that exactly means, and I do have developer access like enabled because I have sideloaded some things, which I will cover going into the video. The resolution is 1832 by 1920 per eye in this device. Now again, my wife purchased this from Target, I believe. She actually was looking into which Oculus model to get me. She was going towards the Rift, but as we most know, that is being discontinued after this year. So she did decide to go with the Oculus Quest 2. Now just a quick little comparison on that. Now the Oculus Quest 1 is reliant on a computer to utilize it. I'm not too sure about the Rift. I haven't really researched that too much, but the Oculus Quest 2 in conjunction with that, does not need a computer to run. However, I do primarily stream VR games to Streamlabs OBS for my Twitch or YouTube channels, which does require me to, of course, connect to it because all of my VR-enabled games are on my computer itself. Now, Oculus is owned by Facebook. I think they did start off as a Kickstarter, if I'm not mistaken, but Facebook did acquire them at some point. With that being said, it is required to have a Facebook account to set it up and to utilize the Oculus, which that may throw some people off because, you know, Facebook is Facebook. There's some secureness issues there, you know, with what they do with your data. But, you know, it is a requirement, so you do have to bite the bullet and set up a Facebook account, even if it's strictly for that, which is not a big deal in my eyes. If you don't primarily use Facebook for social media situation, you know, where you connect with family and friends, if you just set up maybe even just a separate account for it, that'll be all fine and dandy, really. So the things that are included in the box, other than, of course, the Oculus Quest 2, are the 2 touch controllers here, which will be used to, of course, navigate the dashboard and the user interface, as well as actually play the games and utilize the VR. Although you are able to use your hands, I haven't really messed around too much with that. I do have it enabled, but again, I don't have too much experience to really give you guys an accurate depiction on how my experience with it has been. This comes with 2 AA batteries for the controllers, as these are AA battery for power. They aren't rechargeable like the Oculus Quest 2 here. It comes with a 10-watt power adapter, USB-C, which charges quite well, I mean, for 10 watts. Unlike Apple's, you know, little poopy watt charger. Also USB-C cable for connectivity to the charger as well as to your computer. However, I will get to that because I actually do not have USB-C ports on my computer at this time. And this also comes with a glasses spacer if you are a glasses wearer. And my wife is, and so far she has said it's been comfortable every time she's used it. And honestly, she only uses this to play Beat Saber. And hey, you know, happy wife, happy life. All right, so talking about the Oculus Quest itself, so this is a pretty lightweight device. I wouldn't say it's the most solid device I've ever used when it comes to, you know, well, I would say this is in a sense like mobile gaming, or it can be used in that type of sense, but it is well put together. And actually, when it comes to durability, this has been dropped once on a concrete floor, my basement floor to be exact, and nothing happened to internal or external components, like no breaking, no cracks, or anything like that. So this is sturdy, it is well put together, but again, this doesn't feel like the most solid thing I've ever, again, used and held and etc. But no complaints there. Now onto the device itself. So of course, while you're using it, there is a cushion piece that is for, you know, your nose to sit, your surrounding face, you know, with your eyes and etc. The cushion piece is very soft and plush. It's very comfortable when having it on. I had no issues with like discomfort or anything like that. As for the adjustable straps, now these are very easy to adjust. I think this isn't that much different from the first Oculus. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. I will showcase how it adjusts at some point, but so far, again, this is a very comfortable thing. It is a little bit of a hassle to get this properly, of course, like to your head shape and etc. Because, you know, there's 2 spots where you have to adjust it when it comes to the straps. But once you get it, there's really no problem at all with usability. I will say for wear though, I will say there's a little bit of discolorization for using it for a month, like roughly, but there's no like real wear and tear on it. Like I don't see any rips. I don't see any like fuzziness that, you know, from the straps itself, like it's becoming like, you know, where you can't really stick to it or anything like that. Now, if I'm not mistaken, for most people's experience, using this VR can get hot. Like I've sweated and I've sweated quite well just from sitting down, to be honest. Like not like standing up, you know, where you're playing Beat Saber or you're doing something that kind of requires you to move here and there, like to avoid obstacles. But it gets pretty hot. It gets a little stuffy. So I know some people use like clip-on fans and etc. to stay cool, but there will be moments where you may need a little bit of a cool down, or maybe you want like a little rag or towel nearby just to kind of wipe yourself off, because it can get quite hot. But again, that's kind of to expected because, you know, the device itself is on your face. So heat has to go somewhere. Now, I kind of mentioned this now, adjusting the lens distance on here. So it is not like a scrolly wheel or something that's kind of easy to use. There's not a lot of versatility there. There are 3 preset IPD adjustments for the lens distances. It is a little bit of a hassle to get your lens distance set up on this model. Once you get that desired distance set, using it is a breeze, like honestly. Again, if you have multiple people like my wife and I, we both use it, mainly me though. You know, you will need to adjust the straps a little bit. Once you have the straps adjusted, because that's part of you being able to see properly on the VR itself, you're good to go. Now, this is backwards compatible with the Oculus Rift apps. I don't have any Oculus Rift apps, because again, this is the first Oculus I've owned. But I felt that was important to share with you guys in case, you know, you did have an Oculus Rift and those apps that you've had, you were worried about losing those with moving over to the Oculus Quest 2. So just a good piece of information there. Now the controllers, these are really sturdy. I honestly say these controllers are a bit more sturdy than the headset itself. Like honestly. Now again, that's probably on purpose because the headset is on your face. You don't want something too heavy, like dragging your actual head down. But these are made quite well. I have dropped these before as well. Now again, I don't beat and abuse my VR or the controllers by any means, but I have dropped these, you know, by mistake, maybe like only like twice. So again, no issues there with how they look. The buttons feel great. Honestly, you know, you pressing them and everything like that. Like there's really no issues with like clunkiness or, you know, squeaks, anything like that. Like pretty much these are very, very solidly made. Now these do come with straps, of course, that you could put your hand in so that when you tighten it, they won't come off that easily. Now, as I mentioned, I primarily use this for streaming. So again, I have a Twitch channel, I have a YouTube channel. Obviously, I have a YouTube channel. I utilize this with Streamlabs OBS, and all of my games are pretty much usually via Steam. I don't know if there are really any other VR games that I have that aren't on Steam at this time, because again, I mainly use Steam VR, and that allows you to use your games in a VR environment. I do have it connected to my computer for that reason, so that Streamlabs OBS can properly pick it up. Now, you can use wireless type of connectivity, such as a Google Chromecast, which I was thinking about doing, and that could change. I could do that down the road. However, that requires you to have the VR games on the VR itself and that type of setup. And again, my games are on the computer, so my main thing is actually just being able to connect it to my computer. And as I mentioned earlier, my computer does not have a USB-C port. My motherboard isn't like older by any means, but it just does not have one. So I do have to use a Type A to Type C USB cable, and I do have a Type A to Type A USB extender so that I can kind of use this at far distances if possible. One of the main issues that I've had with this, however, has not happened recently, which is of course a good thing. I've had the cable connected to this Oculus via the side here. And the port, you know, is a USB-C port. Although the cable was snug and secure inside of the Oculus, I have had issues where it would just disconnect. And what happens is when the course of it disconnects from the computer, your game pretty much stops. You have to quit or restart Steam VR. And I think I've had an instance where the game was still going on if you do restart Steam VR, but that could be a bit of an issue when you're streaming because it's frustrating. You know, whatever game you're in the middle of could eventually either be stopped or, you know, you have to pause for it until you get the VR reconnected. But again, all these times that this has happened, the cable was not sticking out, or it never actually physically came off the Oculus. So not too sure what happened there, but again, hasn't happened recently, which I'm very happy about. But just something to mention in case this does happen to you. I don't think it's the cable itself, because I know that Oculus really wants you to get their specific cable. I think like that you can get from either them or somewhere. I'm not exactly sure. But again, this cable works just fine when it comes to like utilizing it, especially when it wants to work. Now I do charge this every time I'm done using it, but battery life on this is quite well. Like I've never had it die on me after long use. Now I'm not too sure what the battery life rate is for this, but I will put it on the screen once I find that out. But again, battery life, especially on the controllers, I haven't had to replace the batteries in these controllers as of yet. But again, the battery life on the Oculus itself has been quite amazing. Now I've played games like Beat Saber, Killing Floor Incursion, Pavlov, and so far, again, nothing but a great experience. It looks awesome. I don't get motion sick at all, really. I haven't had an issue with that. But VR gets, you have to get used to it. Like, especially if you, again, this is your first device. But it is an awesome experience. And again, I would highly recommend this to anyone wanted to play it. The volume is loud and crisp while playing games or, you know, looking at YouTube videos via the YouTube VR app. Navigating the UI or the user interface is very easy as well. Now, there are times where you kind of can't find apps that easy, but what you can do is actually pin apps to like your dashboard so that you can easily access them. And I mentioned the Oculus Rift apps. Although in beta, it will launch, you'll be able to launch into the library that you're able to find your old Oculus Rift apps or things such as Steam VR and etc. I will have some gameplay up in this video a little bit later, but setting up the Guardian and like your play area, very simple, keeps you and your play area intact. Like you ain't, it'll make sure you won't bump into anything, trust me. And I'm not working with a lot of play area down here, but again, I've had no issues with bumping into something. The Guardian not actually having the border set up properly where it will apparently, you know, be correct, but then you step over here and you actually have something in front of you. But again, nothing but good experiences with that. Now this does support 72 Hertz by default, but you can downscale it to 60 Hertz if you prefer that. So I've only tinkered with this a little bit, not gotten too crazy, but side loading apps on the Oculus Quest 2, pretty easy. Again, once you get it enabled with the developer mode and the rest of the things that you have to do, pretty simple. Now, the only thing I've really done from a side loading standpoint, I did try out virtual desktops so that I can wirelessly play my computer games from roughly anywhere in the house. Now, it worked quite well, but I did run into some issues, mainly when streaming. When I was streaming and trying to do virtual desktop, it would not work. It was strongly believed because my graphics card was being utilized by my streaming software, and technically it has to utilize that, I think, to I don't know, transfer the gameplay over to the VR. I'm not exactly too sure, or to encode it, but it pretty much did not work out for me, so I was able to get a refund for that. But I have done a mod, and I actually haven't fully tested it out, but it does work. I did mod Alien Isolation to work in VR, which is not supposed to. I think it's like Mother Quest or something like that. Not exactly sure of the name right now, but I was able to use a game that, again, isn't meant for VR, but can work with VR. And I'm pretty sure there are more games like that that can be modded in that way. But again, I'm not sure off the top of my head at this time. Again, this is a 64 gigabyte model, but again, in my scenario, I do not need more than that because, again, my games are on my computer. So storage is not an issue for me at all. So the base model is perfectly fine for my needs. Yeah, bitch. What up? What up? What up? What? Getting that body good. Oh, this is a fucking workout. Yeah, what up? Holy shit, that's a workout. Holy fuck.
According to the scorecards, the judges have determined by unanimous decision, your winner is the red corner.
Woo! I better be. I'm actually dying. Can you not jump like a monkey? Hey! Hey! No, get away from me. Oh my god, it's a lot of them. Lady! Shit! The whole squad is here.
I'm out of ammo.
Come on, back up. I got you.
I'm gonna cool swing you.
Excuse me. Alright, Dylan, how's it going for you?
No. I dropped my thermometer.
Dylan, you here? Dylan? He's This internet's probably taking a shit again.
It's bad. Where the hell did I drop that thermometer?
No, not the thermometer.
There.
What's up? Why you say
But
wait a
we
minute?
start on the upstairs floor. I didn't know
Yeah, man.
that.
Wait, what? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Start
We
on
do.
the upstairs floor.
It's only a downstairs. I thought.
We started on the downstairs.
Are you still streaming?
Okay, well, I have still gotten nothing.
Yeah, guys, if you enjoyed this review, definitely leave a like and comment down below. Let me know also if you're going to be getting one or if you have one, and let me know your experience so far with it. Be sure to check out all the links in the description below. Follow me on my Twitch for my live streams, as well as catch me on my live streams sometimes on YouTube as well. Yeah, that's about it, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell, be notified whenever I post. Give this video a huge thumbs up, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. It's been DJB. Peace out.